Hi, welcome to Cat Crimes, where a cat has committed a crime and we have to figure out who's done it. 2 feet down to 0 feet. Now this game, it has 40 awesome clues. It begins with 6 potential suspects. We have Duchess, who wears a bow. We have Ginger, who's striped. Sassy, who has long hair. Mr. Mittens, who's mischievous. Tomcat, who has a bow. And Pipsqueak, who's kind of cute. And each one of them is a suspect in one of 6 crimes. The case of the broken potted plant. The case of the eaten bird. An eaten goldfish. Some tarnished shoes. A ball of yarn that's been untangled. And a spilled coffee. Each one of these happened in the living room. The bird, the goldfish, the yarn, the shoes, the coffee, and the potted plant. This game, we have 40 cards that range from beginner, intermediate, advanced, and expert. And each one of these has clues with the answer in the back. In this case, we have beginner, the first card, where we have the case of the ruined shoes. We place a marker of the ruined shoes to cover up the unadulterated shoe. And the question is, who ruined the shoe? And so you're given a set of clues that help you find out who committed this awful crime. And so we'll start with beginner 1. And so the first clue reads, Mr. Mittens and Pipsqueak were upstairs sleeping. And as Pipsqueak and Mr. Mittens were both unavailable and sleeping, they could not have committed the crime. So we'll put both Pipsqueak and Mr. Mittens to sleep. The next clue is Tomcat was sitting in front of Catnip and Sock. So if we look at the living room, there are other clues in here like a sock, catnip, a mouse, paw prints, some scratches, and the bell ball. So in this case, it reads, Tomcat was sitting in front of the catnip and sock. So if we look on the board, catnip but no sock, catnip and sock. So it must be that Tomcat was sitting in front of the catnip and sock. So Tomcat must not be the culprit of the shoes. Now the game comes with this cool stand where you can sort of stand the cat up, but for this, we'll remove the stand and leave Tomcat here in front of the catnip and sock. So we used up our 2 clues and we used up 3 of the suspects. Sassy was sitting across from Tomcat, reads the 3rd clue. So Sassy, long hair, white paws, sits across from Tomcat. So we'll put Sassy across from Tomcat's, and again, Sassy and Tomcat are both acquitted. They could not have committed the crime. Ginger was sitting next to the fishbowl. So that means Ginger was sitting next to the fishbowl. So when it says next to, you're either sitting on this side of the fishbowl or on this side of the fishbowl. And in both situations, we do not have enough information to determine which is which. So we'll noodle and think about that clue. The last clue is Duchess was sitting to the left of Sassy. So now, Duchess was sitting to the left of Sassy. So this is Sassy, and Sassy's facing this way. So Sassy's left is one and only the shoes, which means Ginger can only be at one of the place because Ginger was not in front of the fishbowl, but was in the side of the fishbowl. So I think that the first clue, beginner 1, will confirm exactly what happened. So Mr. Mittens and Pipsqueak were sleeping, so they could not have been the suspect. Tomcat was sitting in front of Catnip and Sock. Catnip and Sock, check. Sassy was sitting across from Tomcat, check. Ginger was sitting next to the fishbowl, check. Duchess was sitting to the left of Sassy. So if Sassy's left is this one, and Duchess is the culprit. So we flip over the clue and determine in a line the guilty cat is indeed Duchess. Success, we've solved the first crime. Sassy is on top left, Duchess is in front of the shoes, Ginger, bar, yarn, and Tomcat is in the catnip. And so this is a quick little rundown of the first beginner clue. To do another one, we'll do the next one, which is the first intermediate card, which is number 11. Who ate the bird? So we'll do this one a little bit quicker. So remember, the suspect here is the bird has gone missing. So no longer are the shoes tarnished. Now we have the bird. And the bird has been eaten. We begin with our 6 culprits. And we read our clue. The first clue reads, Tomcat and Mr. Mittens were upstairs sleeping. So right off the bat, we can acquit Tomcat. It could not have been Tomcat. It could not have been Mr. Mittens. No cat was sitting in front of the fishbowl. So that instantly tells us nobody was sitting in this position. Ginger was not sitting next to any cats. Ginger not sitting next to any cats means there must be an obvious gap between this empty fishbowl and Ginger's left. So Ginger must obviously be here or here. Unsure yet. Sassy was sitting between 2 cats. So Sassy being between 2 cats, Duchess was sitting near claw marks. And there's only 2 claw marks here. This one or this one. So we'll still figure out where Duchess goes, here or here. Third, Pipsqueak was sitting in front of either the bell and paw print. So there's a bell here and a paw print there. Or the catnip and the claw marks. So we know Pipsqueak must have been here or here. Now, if Pipsqueak is here, Ginger is not sitting next to anybody. If Pipsqueak is here, Ginger cannot possibly go here. So that means Pipsqueak must go there. Sassy's in between 2 cats. And Duchess is over here because Ginger cannot be sitting here because Ginger was not next to 2 cats. So Ginger must have an open spot. So in this case, we got to verify. Tomcat and Mr. Mittens were upstairs sleeping. Tomcat and Mr. Mittens are sleeping. No cat was sitting in front of the fishbowl. Check. Ginger was not sitting next to any cats. Check. Sassy was sitting between 2 cats. Sassy was sitting between 2 cats. Check. Duchess was sitting near claw marks. Claw marks. Pipsqueak was sitting in front of either the bell ball paw print, not that one, or the catnip and claw marks. Check. So that means I think this position is right. We flip it over, we orient it, and it says that the guilty cat is Duchess. Duchess ate the bird. Naughty Duchess. Sassy, Pipsqueak, Duchess, Ginger. And so forth. So this game is actually quite a lot of fun, especially as you enter some of the more advanced or expert. All 6 cats come into play. And so I'll leave everybody with this last one so they can solve it themselves. Advanced 21. Who ruined the shoes? Sassy was sitting between a cat wearing a bell and a cat wearing a bow. Tomcat was sitting in front of a bag of catnip. Ginger was sitting to Tom's cat's right. Mr. Mittens was not sitting near claw marks. Duchess was sitting across from Mr. Mittens. And last but not least, Ginger was not sitting across from a sock. So I'll leave everybody with that last clue. Overall, this game is quite a lot of fun. It's unique in the fact that it's a single player game. And I think everyone of all ages would enjoy this game. Who wouldn't like Pipsqueak gnawing at a ball of yarn? Till next time, this was Cat Crimes. Who committed the cat?